Greetings of the day. Today, we have got a reflexive episode for you. We are celebrating a very special milestone, the 10th anniversary of the canonization of two incredible saints from Kerala, Saint Kuriakose alias Chavra and Saint Euphrasia Aloftingal.
It really was a huge milestone. 10 years ago, on November 23, 2014, they were declared saints by Pope Francis. I still remember that day, and the joy was really universal. It was the recognition of these two shining stars, the spiritual parents of the CMC, the congregation of the Mother of Carmel, and their immense impact.
So let's set the stage. We are talking about 19th century in India, where faith was pure but often challenged with societal struggles like poverty, ignorance, and a lack of access to basic education.
Exactly. Despite such environment, God raises these two people to be the beacons of hope. These two saints did not just exist that time, but they guided the church through it, laying the strong foundation of social and spiritual growth that we still see today.
Yes, let's start with Saint Kuriakose alias Chavra, born in 1805. You can't just call him a priest. He was a visionary, a social reformer, and an educator. His heart burned with the love for God and zeal for the poor and the uneducated.
His famous belief was, education is the foundation of all the progress. Doesn't it sound like modern education mantra? But these are the words that he said 200 years ago.
Right. So that is the reason he began the schools attached with every church, the Palikudams, ensuring that no child was denied the light of learning. He was the first to introduce the concept of Sunday catechism, the home for aged and the destitute, a reflection of his compassion for both body and soul.
He was quite ahead of his time. He perfectly balanced the deep and silent prayer with active, groundbreaking service. I just love his quote to parents where he says, "Dear children, you are the God's investment in the hands of your parents," which makes us realize the sacred responsibilities of family life. If Saint Chavra was a dynamic light of reform, Saint Euphrasia, oftenly called the praying mother, was quiet fragrance of love and contemplation.
Yes, her life was hidden, simple, silent, yet filled with heavenly grace. She spent most of her years inside the convent walls of Ullur, where she lived a life with deep union with Jesus and especially through Holy Eucharist and devotion to the Sacred Heart.
Her words are so simple, yet they carry so much of depth. She says, "My Jesus, you know that I love you," and that all sums up her entire relationship with God. She did not just pray for herself, but the entire world, the church, the priest, and all the sufferings.
It is a powerful lesson, isn't it? Holiness isn't about doing massive and visible projects. Sometimes it is about doing small and simple things, yet doing it with enormous and all-encompassing love. She taught us that even behind the walls of convent, one can absolutely change the world through prayer, sacrifice, and purity of heart.
And now, the most beautiful part of the story, how God linked the lives of these two saints. Saint Chavra, the founder and the father, he planted the seed of the CMC, the congregation of the Mother of Carmel.
And later on, Saint Euphrasia became that flower that blossomed from the very same seed. His dreams of the sisters who were deeply spiritual and socially committed became a living, breathing reality in her life. Their combined spiritual bond The synergy of deep prayer and active service is what drives thousands of CMC educators and sisters globally.
As we mark the 10th anniversary of canonization, we are called here not just to remember, but to imitate and to walk on the path shown by them.
Right. Saint Chavra tells us to live a life to become a people of vision and building families and communities rooted in faith and compassion.
And Saint Euphrasia teaches us to deepen our inner life, to find peace not in noise or success, but in the quiet presence of Jesus. She even teaches us how the life of prayer can change everything, the hearts, the families, and even the nations.
Yes, and so here's a challenge as we wrap up. Are we being modern day Saint Chavra, lightening up the world with service and knowledge? Or are we being modern day Saint Euphrasia, living a life with profound compassion and quiet trust on God? Maybe we need a little bit of both.
Let this 10th anniversary not just be a remembrance, but a renewal of our call to holiness, education, service, and prayer.
Absolutely. We thank God for this two incredible saints, our heavenly guide and our intercessors. We pray through their examples, our own lives can reflect God's light as theirs did.
Yes, so thank you so much, guys, for joining us for a special reflection. You can get more details on the lives of Saint Chavra and Saint Euphrasia on our website. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.